So after we've seen the small teams crash out of the League Cup, it's time to focus on where the big boys are playing. And of course, that's in Europe. I'm going to explain to you guys everything you need to know about the Europa League. Welcome to the video. Hi guys, hope you're doing well and welcome to an explainer, I guess, is the best way I can describe this. I mentioned it to you guys on yesterday's live stream. And by the way, Forest drew Swansea, for those of you who may have missed it, in the League Cup. And Forest are going to be in the pot come Friday, and we will do the live draw for you guys for the Europa League. But I thought it'd be important just to break down and make sure that everyone understands what's going on with this Europa League. It's changed a lot since the last time we were in it. There's no home and away leg and things like that, right? It's all different. So some of you guys will probably notice. Apologies if you do. Some of you won't. And some of you, maybe you will pick up some little bits and bobs of information. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to explain to you how Forest and the restrictions and what the restrictions are, for the squad. We'll talk through the draw, how that's done, and then how the league phase and the knockout phases work as well. So do me a massive favor, please make sure you've hit the like button, make sure you've subscribed. I'll tell you what, if you get this somehow over 1,000 likes, I will do a reaction video to all my Man United YouTuber mates. I haven't watched him yet and I really want to do it, so make sure you've hit that like button. Okay, let's jump into this and let's kick it off with the squad. Now, what I'll do, I'll read you the rules out and then I will kind of break them down so you understand it, because there's a few complicated things in this. Technically, Forest will submit 2 squads into the Europa League. There'll be Squad A and Squad B, or it sometimes gets called List A and List B, okay? So bear with me and I'll explain why. So the squad size can contain 25 players and 2 of those have to be goalkeepers. This cutoff date for this is the 4th of September, okay? At least 8 of those players have to be homegrown and they have to be between the ages of 15 and 21. Now, if Forest were to submit, say, 6 players that were homegrown, then your quota for your squad goes down by 2 in that case. So you'd only be allowed 23 in your List A squad, okay? Now, that's the basics of it in terms of Squad A. There is a Squad B. Now, in Squad B, you can name an unlimited amount of players, and these are for players that are born after the 1st of January 2004. And they can play, you can list like 1,000 if you want it, but they have to have played 2 seasons at least in your club, aka Forest, okay? So once you do that, that's your 2 squads that are entered. Now, you do get to make some changes. You can add them after the transfer window in January, so you can make up to additional 3 new changes in there. There are some limitations, because if say Forest bought, who else is in there? Villa. Let's just say we bought, I don't know, Morgan Rogers. He could be cup tied for Forest because he's already played in the UEFA for Villa, okay? So that's the dumbed down version of it. Now, why do they have this Squad A and Squad B thing, or List A and List B? Because what UEFA are trying to do is level the playing field, and they're also trying to encourage youth development. What you will see when Forest name their List B squad, it will be a lot of the youth players. These are players that maybe are getting close to breaking into the first team squad or mixing it up in pre-seasons with their. This is a way that this will allow them to also get European experience. It also means that if there are any injuries or anything like that, some of those players can qualify for it as well. And this List B squad, by the way, can be changed up until I think midnight the day before a game. So the List B squad is quite flexible. Okay, so in essence, the rules are slightly different to what the Premier League rules are. There isn't no List A and List B in the Premier League. So hopefully that makes sense on the squad thing. I've tried to explain it as basic as I can. Get your thoughts in on that bit. All right, so let's move on to talk about the draw. And obviously, this is the exciting bit, the fun bit. We will have this live for you guys on Friday afternoon. I think the draw is at 12 o'clock. So make sure you freed up some time to tune in for that one. Now, the draw isn't how it used to be in the good old days when we were last in Europe. The draw is based on not home and away anymore, but a league format, which we'll come on to in a moment. There's going to be 36 teams in 4 different pots. and each team will play 2 teams from each of the pots. So I'm going to bring up a rough guide now of the teams that are in there. Bear in mind, this isn't completed yet because there's still some qualifiers going on. For example, the other night you saw Rangers and Celtic crashing out from the Champions League qualifiers. They dropped down into the Europa. Some of the Conference League games are Europa League games where the loser ends up in the Conference League. And some will drop out completely, as we may or may not see with Crystal Palace tonight, right? So Forest will be able to play 2 of these. 4 games will be at home, 4 will be away from the pots. So for example, if you look at this example here, Forest can't play Aston Villa. That's the one main restriction we have in this draw because they're from the same league as us. We could end up playing Rangers, we could end up playing Celtic. There's no restriction against that. So if we just did like a rough draw, let me make it really as crappy as it can be just in case I get it right and then you guys try and hold it against me. Let's say if I was rigging the computer, Forest draw Dynamo Zagreb and we draw Rangers from pot 1. Okay, now that doesn't mean we're going to be away to both of those because they're in a higher pot than us. There will then be a further draw to decide who's going to be home, who's going to be away. The computer will get involved in that to make sure there's 4 home and 4 away. Okay, don't worry too much about those details. We'll go through them as we go live. Excuse me. So Dynamo Zagreb and Rangers. Then from pot 2, there's no restriction there. So we could end up with, let's say, Young Boys and Braga. Okay. Now, those teams aren't confirmed yet because they still have the playoffs that they're doing tonight. This will get locked at 8:30 Friday morning and the official seedings will be out on the UEFA page, right? So once all these games are completed, then in pot 3, obviously we can't play ourselves. If indeed we do end up in pot 3, we could say end up with, I don't know, FCSB and Ludogorets, whatever they're called, from pot 3, and then in pot 4 we could end up with Bran, who are confirmed, and say go ahead Eagles. Now from those games, 4 will be home, 4 will be away, and what then happens is those results get put into the oh so important league table, and let's move on and talk about that. All right, let's get into the fun stuff and let's talk about the knockout stage and bring the league into this. So as I just mentioned, the league will be of 36 teams. The points will be awarded as if you're in the Premier League, right? So you win, you get 3 points, you draw 1, you lose nothing. And then those games will go into the league. It's called a Swiss format league. For maybe any of you, those who have done, say, FIFA tournaments and things, you would understand that. So how it'll work, all teams will play their 8 games. And then it's broken down. The top 8, so if you finish between 1 and 8, you automatically qualify for the knockout stages. If you then finish between 9th and 24th, you will go into a playoff match. If you finish 25th to 36th, good night, God bless, you're out, okay? So Forest have quite a big hit range here to qualify for the knockouts. Anywhere within the top 24 gets you in there. Now, within that bracket of 9th to 24th, the teams that are 9th to 16th within that mini bracket will be seeded versus the teams 17th to 24th, right? Those teams won't be seeded. And within that, say Forest finished, I don't know, 10th and Villa finished 23rd. Forest and Villa couldn't face each other because they're still classed as being from the same league. Then if you win, that will be a 2-legged playoff. So if Forest, and hopefully we qualify first, right? But let's just say a team is in those, they play 2 matches, then they go into the main draw, and that takes you into the round of 16 and beyond. And there's one more restriction in the round of 16, that in that first round of 16, you can't play a team from your same country. That rule gets removed in the quarterfinals, semis, etc. Okay, so those are the main rules. I'm actually getting quite excited about this. I think the draw's being done in Monaco as well. It's going to be so much fun to see this. Like, I've watched loads of these draws over the years, and I'm like, man, when's my team going to be in there? We're in there now. So I hope that makes some sense to you guys. If there's any questions about it, let me know. I can answer them in the live as well when we do the draw on Friday. But let me know which teams you would really like to get in this draw. So get your thoughts in. Hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure as well, I'll leave the video for my Premier League predictions this week over on our second channel, the Footy Network, on the end screen. So check that out. Get those likes up because I really want to do a Manchester United reaction video. We'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Reds.